Hi guys, it's me, Mona, and welcome back to Coffee Chats with Mona. And I'm so excited. This morning we have a couple of great stories coming at you, and I'm so excited to sit down with this beautiful woman, Miss CJ, and welcome again. Welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you for doing this with us.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to tell a little bit. Miss CJ here was in our Golden Girls project, and she has completely graduated and moving on up like the Jeffersons to better things.
Yep.
So you want to share a little bit about your story and how you found the Joseph Center and found the Golden Girls project.
Okay, my journey started I'm from Durango, Colorado, and my dad had passed away in a nursing home at 100 years old, and
Wow.
so I wanted a new start, and my dad just told me pray on it, which I did, and then I started at Women's Recovery Center, and I was there for a month. And
Because you were fighting addiction?
that too.
Okay.
And I was going to grieve. And so what happened was I went to WRC and I finished that program, and I was already talking to WSNARC. And so in WSNARC, Gina was running the show there, and I got a hold of her before I went to WRC.
I'm going to interrupt you right there. You want to tell them what WSNARC is?
WSNARC is the Western Slope of Native American Resource Center.
Yeah, right here in Grand Junction.
Yeah.
We love them. They do great work.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I just had to do a shameless plug for you, Monique. Okay.
Anyway, and Gina goes, I know where you'll fit in. And then she goes, there's a place called the Golden Girls. And I kind of laughed because, the Golden Girls.
Yeah, yeah.
And she goes, you'll fit right in there. And I started talking to Jennifer while I was still in WRC. And so when I finished that program, there was a bed ready for me already.
Yay.
And I was there, and I was there a month, and I got a job at the nursing home just across the street from here. And so I was at the Golden Girls for 5 months, and
Total?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is a very short time. You worked that program because we generally say anywhere from 6 months to a year.
Yep.
You didn't even hit the 6 months.
Yep.
That's awesome, CJ.
Yep. And then I was doing all recovery classes here at the Joseph Center, and I met my landlord. She needed, she rent me a room, and her name is Cindy, and she's awesome. And so I took it.
Good for you.
Yeah, and I took it, and I moved. It's been a week now since I've been in my new place. I like my peace. It's quiet, and my life is WSNARC, and my classes, all my, my recovery classes, and church and work. That's my life.
And you're good with that.
Yes.
So do you feel like you're in a good, healthy place?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because this is the kind of people I want to run with and get to know. And and I walk the red road. I practice it because that's my culture. And they're trying to get me on with WSNARC, which is, it's going to happen,
I believe it.
I believe it too, because my prayers it's just everything's happening, and I'm just so grateful that I came here, because you guys are all new faces, all new people, and this is the kind of people I want to be with, to guide me, and and I love it here.
Yeah. So were you homeless prior to going to WRC?
No, what happened was I was traumatized by my partner.
Okay.
So it wasn't home anymore.
Right.
And I had an apartment. I lived there for 7 years. So I gave it all back to corporate. And there was a lot going on at the time. I got traumatized. My dad passed away. I was in the middle of a movie. And I voiced it that I told myself it's time to change. Something's got to change, because in Durango nobody was changing. They were just doing the same old thing. And I work with the homeless people, so I was like a doormat, and I had to change that. And so
because you were too giving,
Yep.
they were playing on your compassion,
Yep.
and you were giving.
Yep.
So were you giving like money? Were you giving?
I was doing everything. Giving a bed, a couch for them to sleep, shower, food, money, and I had to stop that. I had to think about me. I was putting people, I was at the bottom.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't homeless, but I have been homeless by choice. And I had a van at one time. I went up to the mountains, and I just needed my peace. I got tired of the yada yada in town.
Mm-hmm.
So I was working at McDonald's at the time. I would just come down for work and get my needs and go back up to the mountains.
Wow.
But when COVID hit, because I'm a diabetic,
Changes
and
everything.
then COVID hit and everything had to change.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't live like that. I was bouncing from motel to motel to motel, and I couldn't. I've always had a job, and I couldn't do it like that with me being sick. So I got a place, and I lived there for 7 years. And I know how it feels to be homeless.
Yeah.
But I did it by choice because, I needed my peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you were at WRC, you found out about the Golden Girls,
Mm-hmm.
and you said, "Okay, I'm gonna give this a try."
Mm-hmm.
What was Golden Girls project like for you?
It felt good not to be locked up. I can come and go as I please, but I had to check in. And I didn't get into the girls' drama there. I just watch and listen. And
Wherever there's women, there's drama.
there's
Just kidding. Or am I?
But it made me feel like, because I went to boarding school, but just grown up women.
Yeah.
And so I know how to deal with it, but I couldn't duke it out with them like I did in boarding school. So it was a great program. I loved it. I loved Jennifer, and there's,
Paula.
all different women that are traumatized, different walks of life, but I lived hard on the reservation. I know how it feels. And sometimes I would just say in my mind, these ladies don't know what hard life is about. And that's why I think I survived over there.
Yeah.
Because I knew how to deal with women, but they were all grown up.
But you also worked the program.
Yes, I did.
I mean,
I went to
I want to
class.
go back to 5 months, and you're gone. You've done. You've completed. And how long have you been sober?
I've been sober maybe a year now,
Okay.
but I've been off of meth for 38 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my only outlet is cigarettes now.
Yeah.
And I picked that up when my dad passed.
Sure.
I didn't pick up a bottle, but one of my younger sister, my older brother, and one of my older sister, they went back to the bottle. And so I was always the peacemaker in the family. And I couldn't do that for them anymore. I had to think about me.
So you've said a couple of key things that I think is very important. I want to kind of talk about a little bit, or have you expand more on it. And then I'm going to share my thoughts on it, because I think it's a good thing. You said, you were helping the homeless. That was in Durango. And you felt like a doormat because you were helping them do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And you've been the peacemaker in your family. So I think now that you find that place of peace for yourself,
Yeah.
now, because I'm a firm believer that the gifts that we come to this earth with are for the good of other people, right?
Yep.
And so you've always done good for people, but now you have a different take on it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's like you're still going to help people, you're still going to support people,
Yep.
but now you have boundaries.
Yep.
What's the group you guys do, the class, Foundations for Life?
Uh-huh.
How did that work for you? Did that help in any way?
Yes, it did. A lot. And
Because it builds that character, right?
yes, yes.
So
it
did you
does.
learn about boundaries?
Yes,
Okay.
because I learned that in WRC.
Okay.
A lot of things came out.
Yeah.
You know, my inner child came out, and I was just like stuffing and stuffing and stuffing. And I learned how to do boundaries because there too, I listened and I watched the ladies there. And I was like, if women act like that in WRC, do they act like that out here?
Sure.
And they didn't have no boundaries.
Yeah. So all those characters for life, WSNARC, all the support and the wraparound services. It sounds like you got a lot of inner healing as well.
Yes, I do.
And that's a part of it. So, you know, you, oh my gosh, you have a job, you moved out, you have your own place. What I love about your new place is that you did this without a voucher.
Yep.
There is no subsidized anything. You're free, really.
Yeah.
You know, and a part of the community.
Yep.
You know, and giving back to the community.
Yep.
Which is my favorite word, absolutely dynamic.
Yep.
You know?
Thank you.
And I know that when I would go over to Golden Girls, you always had a smile on your face. You're always greeting, you know. I still ain't got my fry bread though. So I'm waiting on my fry bread.
Okay.
She makes some mean fry bread. That's what I'm saying. So I love the idea that the whole person has been worked on. And it's not just about, and I think so many times there's a stigma behind, you know, any type of homelessness or unhoused person, that there's this stigma around them, and it's not always that.
Yeah.
But I'm a firm believer is that when we can help the whole person,
Yep.
you know, because at Golden Girls, you're cooking again. You're getting back in the groove of things again, right? Like normal life and life skills and all of that, which I'm sure you already had. But you have the freedom to execute those things to get back, you know. So how do you feel? Because statistically, and I think the last 2026 count, women 55 and older are the fastest growing homeless population in the United States.
Wow.
Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
It is growing. It's superseding all the other populations. And so to me, that's why Golden Girls Project is so key.
Yeah.
You know, we started out with 4 beds. Then I think we made it up to 7.
Yeah.
And now we have 16.
Yeah.
You know, so we're able to help more. But it sounds like to me we need more.
Yeah.
You know, are there gaps in the community, just from what you've seen at WRC, what you saw at Golden Girls Project, what you saw working with Durango? Are there gaps that are not filled that you think that are still needed?
It's all up to the individual.
Okay.
If you really want it, it will happen for you.
It's there.
I'm not a, you know, one thing about me is I'm not, you know, I do for myself.
Yeah.
It's up to the individual to fill that gap.
How proud are you of yourself?
I try not to get overwhelmed because if I get overwhelmed, anxiety comes in.
Okay.
And it just starts going fast, and then I need, you know, ground myself again. And I just, you know, sit somewhere where it's quiet, and I just pray to my Creator and say, thank you for my blessings.
Yeah.
Because being overwhelmed will make me sick too.
Okay.
And then I'm like, Durango's such slow pace, and here everybody's just like, you know. And I thought Durango's homeless people was big, but until I came here, homeless is really, really big here. And I've never seen it like, you know, like this.
Yeah. The need is great.
Yeah. But back to the gap, it's up to the individual. If you work the program, it'll work for you. And I tell those ladies, you know, we broke rules within ourselves. That's why we're here.
Wow.
Yep.
Do they listen?
These are just for show.
I like that. Because hearing is one thing, listening is a total different ballgame, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
These are just for show.
Yeah.
Nobody listens anymore until they're in a place where they get boxed in.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I tell the ladies, you know, we're in places like this because we broke rules within ourselves. And we have to have rules with ourselves in order for, you know, to feel whole and to feel everything about being human.
She's so deep. I'm like, girl, you just deep. No,
I'm just human.
I love it though, CJ. I really do. So, have you ever had to stay at a homeless shelter before?
No.
No. Wow.
No.
But I don't consider Golden Girls like an emergency shelter. It's more like a dorm. It's more
see, I boarding school.
Yeah.
I told you.
Except you can go to work, you can go to grocery store, you can do your stuff. I get that, but it's our goal is with everything in us is to preserve your dignity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, while you're on this journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I think so many times we forget that. But when I look at the Golden Girls Project, I'm thinking somebody's mama.
Yep.
Somebody's grandma.
Yep.
This is somebody's sister.
Great grandma.
This is great grandma. This is
aunties.
You know, who had jobs and careers and
Yep.
life happened.
Yep.
Right? Because life is life, and whether
Yep.
we wanted to or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then how we adjust to that.
Yep.
And I saw you do that. You know, I just love going over there and seeing you just, you know, just being you.
Yep.
You know, and I'm just still blown away that in only 5 months, you know, from start to where you are now.
Yep.
So, do you have plans for the future other than, I know you're going to be on staff at WSNARC?
My plans is right now I'm taking it baby steps, and I want to get more involved with the community, and because I feel like, because I was doing that in Durango, community is really important.
It is.
If
It
you
is.
you know, and everybody tells me, "Are you here to?" I says, "I'm here to stay. I'm not, you know."
And
I'll
to
go
give back, right?
Yeah.
And to give back. I'm a huge fan of peer support.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
You know what? My peer support is Jennifer. She's my sponsor. Yes. And you know what? I talk to her, I text her, you know, they have classes over there, I join it. And I still go to
And you're still coming back here for classes
Yes.
and all of that. And that's amazing.
because it helps me, it guides me. You know,
Yeah.
and back home, I got a good support system back home, which is my family. And
Are they proud of you?
Oh yeah, they're always proud of me.
Yeah,
They're
sure.
like, you know, I got 6 brothers and 6 sisters,
Wow.
and I'm third to the youngest, and I'm sis. And they're like, you know, wherever you go, you always make it. You know, I was raised by my grandparents. My grandparents always told me, you're one child out of 12 we don't have to worry about. My dad told me that too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the native way, you know, at WSNARC, when we do our circle, you know, you're supposed to introduce yourself in the native way. And my native way is, my name is Jush Jood. That means the girl that's always smiling.
Because you are. I said that every time I went over there. You were always smiling. Say it for me one more time.
Jush Jood.
Jush
Jood.
Joy.
Jush Jood.
Jush Joy.
The girl that's always smiling.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, are you fluent in Navajo?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow. So you'll be able to use that.
Yep. I'm learning how to say the Serenity Prayer in Navajo.
I bet that's beautiful. When you
It
learn
is.
it, I want to hear it.
And then I like to work with old people and little kids. And when I was in Durango, I worked with the schools. And I taught the Bayfield School how to say the Pledge of Allegiance in Navajo.
Oh, I bet that was gorgeous.
It is. It's not about how we say it. It's about the material of the flag, why it's red, why there's stars, why there's stories about every star. It's not about the way we say it.
Sure. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I want you to do me a favor.
What?
And if somebody is watching us who is 55, 50, we say 50 and over,
Yeah.
that is struggling right now, and what would you tell this person?
I would tell this person, have faith in yourself. If you have faith in yourself, you'll love yourself. There's hope out there. And check out the Golden Girls. Just there's always a woman there that will talk to you, and somewhere in your journey that you're going, there's a lady that's going through the same thing that as you are. Talk to Jennifer. You know, you're not lost. You're a child of God.
Just need a little help.
Yep, that's all it is.
I always say we're not a hand up or a hand out. I always say that we're more of a push forward.
Yep.
And that's how I see all of our programs.
Yep.
You know, is that we're trying to get people moving forward.
Yeah.
And what a blessing and an honor to sit here with you and have coffee and hear your story.
Yep.
Because I don't always get to hear everybody's story, you know.
Yep.
But you have a beautiful story.
Yep.
And there's more to it. We just
Yep.
haven't seen it yet. And now you said you had children. How many children do you have?
I got 2 boys and 2 girls.
Okay.
My daughters have the girls, and my older daughters got the son. And I'm a great grandma too.
Okay.
My niece's daughter had a baby when I came up here.
Well, congratulations.
I know. I don't. You know, when I say that, I'm like, I mean, my soul feels young,
Yeah.
but my body don't.
That's what I say. I'm young here, but I got a lot of old parts.
Yep.
And so
Yep.
I get it. I
Yep.
get it.
And it's I feel good about it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And
No.
my kids are gonna come down in June when school's out, and they want to go to Denver, and the kids want to go to the aquarium.
I've been there. That's fun.
Yeah.
It's
and
really fun.
they're gonna bring more stuff up to me, and it's gonna be like Christmas because I haven't seen my stuff.
That's so
Yes,
fun. That's so fun.
Yes.
Tell me what you would say your biggest accomplishment has been in the last year.
My faith has gotten bigger,
Stronger.
stronger.
Yeah.
I
I can
don't.
see it in your face.
I don't say the W word. You
Yeah.
know what the W word is?
Mm-mm.
WORRY. When I say that, it goes out in the universe, because when you say it, everything trickles down. Your fear, your loneliness, you know, all that.
Makes
And
sense.
I don't sit, because this is
a
this is
weapon.
the only thing
Yeah.
that don't have a bone but can kill a person.
Yeah. It's dangerous.
It's dangerous. So, you know, and somebody might be having a bad day. You just tell them, you know, you have a blessed day. You know, that's
Encouraging.
words, you know.
Yeah.
And that's me, because I remember when I was so ugly, but that's not of me. You have to rewire this in order for you to be the...
And then you got to get this and this to connect, right?
Yep.
And once they get on the same page,
Yep.
ain't no stopping you now.
Yep.
Mm.
And it feels good.
Yeah.
It feels really good. Like I said, I try not to be so excited because I don't want to get overwhelmed. And when
Just one day at a time.
I call that, I do it 1 second, and then a minute, and it makes a day.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Thank you
You're welcome.
for sitting down with me.
You're
This has
welcome.
been awesome. Thank you once again for joining us on Coffee Chat with Mona and my beautiful guest, Miss CJ here. And again, if you want to hear more stories and follow us, please hit that subscribe button, the like button, so you'll always know when we're posting new interviews. There's always more testimonials that are a blessing and encouraging to bring you hope. And as always, if you'd like to donate to the Golden Girls Project or any of our 8 major programs, please go to josephcentergj.com, hit that donate button. Every dime you send us goes right back into the community, and we thank you for tuning in. Oh, and once again, if there's questions, things that you would like us to talk about or subjects, put that in the comments, and we'll look at it and try to address as many as we can. You have a blessed day. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.